Hey guys, how's it going? Marc here, and here is the spoiler review for Zootopia. So, where do we begin? First off, again, this is the spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie, what the hell are you doing? Don't watch this video. Go see the movie. Go see it 2 times. Go see it 3 times. It's so good. To get, everything out of the way from the last review, from the non-spoiler, the spoiler-free review, I rated this movie a 9.5 out of 10 because it's really, really, really good. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of what I said from the spoiler-free review. Go see the spoiler-free review if you haven't already. But that being said, let's just not waste any time. Let's get into one of the bigger things, which I feel is the main thing I'm going to talk about. Actually, before we get into the morals and the messages and all that, let's talk about some stuff like the Easter eggs and all that, because there are some other Easter eggs there that I wanted to just go into more detail about, because I thought it was funny. So, I thought they were funny. So that being said, I love, again, the Breaking Bad reference, because it comes at a point in the film where we found out that they think that these wolves are what are called night crawlers. And even the backstory I gotta give, just because I feel like I need to give the backstory, is that these predators are turning back into their actual, like their instincts are coming back, their animal instincts, because while, they say that that's how it was years and years and years ago with Zootopia and all that, supposedly with Zootopia and all that, everyone gets along. Predator and prey, side by side, they get along just fine, but really, they don't care a whole lot. I mean, they're fine, but they don't really care a whole lot. But with that being said, with the whole, kind of conspiracy-ish thing going on about, well, they're turning back into predators, and that's not good, so we need to, take a closer look at them and see what happens, make sure none of the other ones that aren't savage yet won't go savage. So, with that being said, this all leads into that Breaking Bad reference. I like the fact that this comes at a point where they thought that the wolves were the ones that were called night crawlers, night howlers, or something like that. Actually, it's a flower. It's this kind of flower with this toxin or something, or this stuff on it or in it that causes this reaction in these predators. And so this sheep guy is working with these flowers and getting them into these pellets to use for the guns to shoot them. That's how they've been doing it. And he's wearing a yellow hazmat suit, and they're all blue and everything, so it looks a lot, the setup right there visually looks like Breaking Bad. So I'm there in the theater going, do a Breaking Bad reference, do a Breaking Bad reference, do a Breaking Bad reference, and then he's talking to someone on the phone, and he goes, you hear, dun dun dun, he's like, oh wait, hold on, sorry, my coffee's here, Jesse and Walter are here, and he leaves, I'm like, yes! Breaking Bad reference. It was really funny, I just thought it was great. Other references, including again the bootleg DVD part, that was funny. I don't remember the names. I think one of them was Wrangled instead of Tangled, and Wreck-It Ralph was Wreck-It Rhino or something like that. I thought that was really funny. So again, self-referential humor to their past works. So that was funny. I also liked the Let It Go reference where I forgot the guy's name, but he's the main, I think it's an Ox officer, head guy, is he tells Judy, and I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember the quote down to the exact word, but he's like, this isn't some kind of musical animated flick, or how's he say it? He's like, this isn't some kind of animated musical, whimsical, musical where, you can just wish all your dreams to come true, so just let it go. And I was like, but the one thing I like about the film, besides these tricks and all that, is how they handle the twists and everything, which we're going to get to right now. Because one of the other things, which I didn't mention in the spoiler-free review, is that along with being okay, so there's going to be modernization stuffs in here, like iPhones and all that, but one of the other things I was thinking of was tropes. How are these tropes going to go? This is basically like a buddy-buddy film. Not a buddy cop film, necessarily, but it's like a buddy film. It's one of those kinds of the country girl going into the city kind of film. It's a mishmash of all of those. So those kinds of tropes are going to be in the film. But where I thought the film was going to go in one direction, it swerved right and went to another direction. So I was like, oh, okay, Nick's backstory, he doesn't want to be muzzled and chained down and treated like a predator. And so when he gets hit with the predator night crawler, night howler juice stuff, I thought, oh, okay, so now Judy's going to have to ward him off or something, or essentially fight him or something. Or at least get away from him, try to be like, you don't want to be chained down. I believe in you, fight it. No, they were just goofing off. He switched them with blueberries. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we're not going to get the whole, you can do it, I believe in you, like anime kind of thing that they kind of do with that when someone's getting like possessed or some shit. So it was refreshing to see that this film went and swerved in different directions. So I don't know what was up with this, but I'm weird. So with that being said, let's talk about the next thing. Yeah, so the next thing, the fact that Bellwether is the villain. So that was something I didn't see coming. This is what I thought. I thought that I forgot his name, but the hillbilly fox guy from the bully from the intro when Judy was a kid. I thought he was gonna be the villain. I thought it was gonna be like this isn't the villain, he's the villain, like the mastermind behind everything. That's what I thought was gonna happen. Nope, he sells, I forget what it is, like bread or something. I forgot what it was, but he actually becomes a good-hearted guy when he gets older, and he apologizes to Judy for all this shit that he's done to her, and I'm like, oh, that's refreshing to see. Okay, so again, this goes with the direction of how the movie was handling stuff, and I thought Lionheart, I think is his name, the mayor, I think is what he is. I thought he was the villain because, as it turns out, the missing people are all under his jurisdiction, I guess. And I was like, okay, so what's he gonna do? There's gonna be conspiracies and things happening. Well, he's just trying to find out how to turn them back and what's going on with them. At the same time, this is completely justified. So I was like, oh, okay, so this makes sense. As to why he's doing this, he doesn't want to tell anyone because he is a lion. So he doesn't want the public, to find out what all this crap that's happening. And so that was cool. And he's not villainous in any way at all. So I was like, okay, hey, nice, because that's another way I thought they were going to go with this. I thought he was going to be the mastermind, or say, no one suffered in Bellwether coming. And the fact that she always said to Judy that the prey had to stick together, I was like, okay, because she says it like a lot in this film. And then by the time, it's revealed that she was the villain, I was like, well, now I get it, because she's been saying it, let's get them out of here because now it's just going to be us. We're going to be the ones that are, whatever. So I was like, that makes sense, Okay, I can see that. So twists and turns everywhere. Really cool. So with that being said, that leads into the big thing. The whole stance on diversity and on essentially racism and feminism and all that kind of stuff. And that's pretty big for a Disney film to tackle and just be open with it. The other thing I wanted to talk about also was the media and all that, which we'll get into. So I guess let's just start with diversity. The fact that the film starts with Judy saying, in this play that she's doing, this is how it was back then. And we had, just the predators and the prey. But we've evolved now to where we can all get along. But then everyone keeps saying, well, it's in their DNA to even if they're civilized now, they can always go savage or turn savage. And what's going to happen when that happens, and we need to keep an eye on them because, that's kind of shady, and they're citizens at this point. So the fact that they're citizens being looked at for being different, and they can snap whenever they feel like it, or just whenever it happens, that is, that's a thing that can happen now, here in the real world. So, I'm not going to name any names or do any kind of, name any kind of, races or things where that happens, but it has happened and it can happen, and so it's there, I guess. And when it comes to this kind of stuff, I want to say off the bat, I don't have a huge stance, for myself, a kind of stance on anything. I just try to avoid it, but I do see where the film's getting at with these stances. Just saying that kind of stuff is wrong. Don't do that kind of stuff, because when you do, shit goes wrong and shit goes crazy, and that ties into the whole media thing about it. Whatever you say on the media, people are going to eat up, and that just happens more and more and more and more in this day and age, because we just get so crazy and infatuated with anything that the media says. So that's just something I don't like talking about that kind of stuff, but it's just because I could go on and on about it. But this is a review for a movie, for a kid's film. No, sorry, for an animated film. So, with that being said, it's nice that they're like at least showing it, like this is what happens in the real world, and it's happening in this film. But look at how it sets everything off, and that kind of portrayal. Not so much of a stance. They don't take stances, they just portray these things. I think I should have like reworded how I said that, rephrased it. So, it's not so much as putting a stance, the film isn't putting a stance on these kinds of topics, they're just portraying them in a kid-friendly way, kind of. So, that adults obviously can get, and the kids can like learn about. So, I think it's really neat, and again, super creative. Like I said in the spoiler-free review, according to other reviewers, they shove this kind of stuff in your face, but I never felt like they really did. They always brought it up when need be. It didn't feel so random when they brought it up, like, we're gonna get away from this guy, let's run, let's get on the rope and it's raining. By the way, diversity is bad, because this guy is savage. Like, I don't know. It didn't feel like it came out of the blue. So, with that being said, they implemented it nicely, and the way they portray these topics is, I don't know, well done, I guess you could say. The same thing goes with the racism thing I was saying, goes with the diversity, and feminism as well, because Judy Hopps is a girl and she's a bunny, and the way they say it, bunnies can't be cops, bunnies can't do this, and, just go on and be cute somewhere else or something. That's, that happens, has happened, can happen in the real world. So the fact that they call that kind of stuff out, again, it's bold, and it's something, though, that you should be teaching kids, nowadays, because I don't think we've ever really sat down to teach kids that kind of stuff. I mean, in like possibly like Sesame Street or something, like maybe, not any Sesame Street I've ever watched as a kid, I can say that much, but this film, as bold as it is, showing it, and especially again with it happening nowadays, because it's gotten so out of hand nowadays with this media stuff and this stuff about diversity and all that, presidential stuff. Anyway, so that stuff needs to be like really brought up, and again, the way they've brought it up in this film, in this animated film, works. So, with that being said, I don't want to ramble on too much longer, but I like the way they did it. So I think that's the answer that G-Man wanted to know about my opinions on these topics being portrayed in this film. I think they did it well, and I think that, because I don't want to get into like a real world conversation in this review, so I'm going to cut myself off right there. I think that it was well implemented. So, oh, my joint popped. With that being said, that's really all of the spoilers I wanted to talk about, so it mainly had to do with topics and all that, but the Easter eggs and the twists and turns that this movie took, it all works. So like I said earlier, and like I'm going to say again, the rating for this for me is a 9.5 out of 10. I would totally go see it again. I would totally go see it full price, since I didn't when I went to go see it. And a sequel is welcome, in my opinion. I would like to see a sequel. I'm surprised that they haven't announced a sequel already, because they've been doing that. They can do that. They can totally be like, Zootopia just came out this day. Like a month later, hey, Zootopia 2 has been announced, so thank God they haven't done that yet. I hope they wait if they want to do a sequel, because this movie has done phenomenal so far. Then they should wait. They should wait it out and then announce it, and if it was announced, I would go see it. So that being said, this is the spoiler review for Zootopia. I thought it was really good. I love the way they implemented these things, and again, just to recap, I guess, I don't know why I keep repeating myself, but the way the turns the plot took and the film took, and these portrayals of these topics, it was all done well. So with that being said, I'm going to stop rambling. I'm Marcelo. What did you guys think of the film? Let me know down below. Talk about spoilers in this video, in the comments. Don't leave spoilers, because I'll delete them in the spoiler-free review. that video. So with that being said, yeah, I'm Marcelo. I'll see you guys later. Take care.